Hi, today I wanted to talk to you about the advantage of getting a pre-listing inspection. Pre-listing inspection is when you get a home inspection prior to putting the house on the market. This varies a little bit from the traditional inspection, where normally house is for sale, house goes under contract, buyer brings their inspector in, and does an inspection like ourselves, Home Inspection Carolina, and we do an inspection, we find things, yada yada yada. They, either negotiate or depending on the situation, they negotiate repairs or price off the house, or the seller says, "I'm not fixing anything." Depending, it all depends on the market, right? If the supply and demand, but the problem with the normal way. Let me start there. The problem with the normal way is usually there's a little back and forth, like somebody makes an offer, somebody comes up, somebody goes down a little bit. So there's a financial compromise, right? And that happens before the inspection. So in a perfect world, depending, the market could be different, but seller winds up coming down a little bit, buyer usually winds up coming up a little bit to meet on a price. So they both compromised. And now you have an inspection and needs a new roof or needs a new HVAC. Uh-oh. Buyer's like, no, I want that fixed. Or I want, a price reduction of $5,000 or something. And this sometimes creates problems because nobody wants to compromise. Somebody's gonna have to compromise again. And nobody likes to compromise twice. The alternative to this is the seller doing a pre-listing inspection before they ever put it on the market. And you might say, well, what would the advantages of this be? And that's what this video is about. There's several advantages. First of all, let's say in that scenario, all right, you need a new HVAC. You can get multiple estimates and go with the better estimate. So you've got time, it's maybe instead of five, you get it for 3,500. I mean, hypothetically here. And you could either have them install it or, say I had it pre-inspected. Here's what it cost, and build that into before you compromise one way or another. Um, so you get to get multiple estimates to do the repairs on your schedule. Um, it keeps the deal from going sideways. Takes some of the risk out for the buyer. If you've had a pre-listing inspection, the buyer might offer more money because, if they're looking at two houses and one's had a pre-inspection, there's less risk involved in that house than one of the other houses. Um, there's a couple of other different things. You can price it a little better, usually if it's been pre-inspected. Stronger negotiation position because now they can't get you down on inspection issues because you're like, here they are. I mean, before we even start. Um, a faster, smoother transaction builds trust. I mean, transparency is the ultimate trust. Um, and also avoids over improving. A lot of times people dump money into upgrades and all this stuff and do all this stuff and then go to sell their house and they weren't anticipating a new HVAC system or something. So I'm a firm proponent of pre-listing inspections. The biggest drawback on it is our objection. What you'll hear is seller doesn't want to pay for it. I subject that the money that it will save you in negotiations is more than worth it, or the money it would save you in being able to price out, get multiple estimates, will be more than the cost of the inspection. Average inspection is like $500 or $600, so I think you would save more than that. Keeps the deal from going sideways, and if it goes sideways and deal falls through, and then you got to go back under contract, you're looking at another month or two of mortgage payments. Holding that house when you're trying to sell it. So there's that. The other thing is sometimes you'll hear real estate agents say this. I don't want to know because then I have to disclose. I think that's a terrible argument because once, let's say, the people have an I mean, it's going to come out. It's going to come out. And the sooner you know about something, the more time you have to wrap your mind around it and figure out, all right, how are we going to solve this problem? Just kicking the can. I mean, that's just terrible. And then not only that, but once that, let's say the buyer has an inspection, finds some stuff, and they back out of the deal, and now you're going to have to disclose, and you're kind of caught deer in the headlights. To me, two things about pre-listing inspections: you're being proactive instead of reactive. And number two, I've heard this before. If you have a pre-listing inspection, you get to get the repairs done at wholesale, not retail. So let that sink in for a second. Normal inspection, you're going to have to pay retail for the inspection. I mean, retail for the repairs. If you have a pre-listing inspection, you can get the repairs wholesale, meaning you can price it out, get it on the contractor's schedule, that sort of thing. So be proactive instead of reactive. I think that's just a better way to go. That's my argument for pre-listing inspections. Uh, Check out our website, homeinspectioncarolina.com. We've got a whole lot of information about pre-listing inspections and other inspections. If you don't do a pre-listing inspection, at least go to our website and download the seller's inspection checklist. This is what the inspector is going to be looking for. So if you don't do a pre-listing on your house, go through this checklist and make sure you fix all of it. It's like 45 or 46 of the most common items. Most of them are easily fixable. But anyway, hope that's been helpful. I'm a proponent of pre-listing inspections. Give it some thought. Like, subscribe if you got value. I appreciate whatever the kids do these days. And thank you for watching.